hasn't been an easy season, and you wouldn't expect that in this conference. So I like it that we got into trouble. We had to figure some things out, but I like where we are. I like the way we're playing. I think you know, our best volleyball is yet to come, and hopefully we get a chance to have that play out, be it this weekend or next weekend or the weekend after that.
Can you explain got into trouble for those of us who are sort of new to this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, with any team in any sport, you know, the great teams figure out how to manage the moments of adversity, whatever they may be. So, you know, for us, it's getting down, you know, a significant string of points, or even, you know, after some of our losses to teams that, you know, were a little bit better than us. You know, we had to figure out what we had to do to compensate, to adjust, to get better. And then when we lost to a couple of teams that, at least on paper, you know, weren't supposed to be as good as we were, it forced us to really look at the way we treat the moment of competition and how we you know, go about battling together, and how we deal with trouble when we're managing expectations and, you know, all the stuff that goes with competing. So it's nice to have those lessons out of the way, because clearly as we get into this phase of the season, it's one and done. You know, I mean, if you can't give it everything you got every night, then it could be a short term.
You thought that the players were very receptive to what you were trying to teach them. Is that maintained throughout the season?
Yeah, I would say so. I feel like you know, practice has been a very productive place for us, and for me personally, I really enjoy being in the gym with this group. They're great to work with, and you know, I feel like we get a lot of work done. It's been really enjoyable for me.
Harms and Dixon were all Big Ten. Are they kind of the keys to your success this season?
In some ways, but I think, you know, those two constants. You know, I think the thing that's gotten us through a lot of these matches is just the fact that we've got a lot of people that can contribute, and, you know, clearly Catherine and Tori get their share, but, you know, any one of that starting group has had a significant impact in a lot of matches. You know, for example, you know, Ashley Whitman defensively in a match against a 5-set win against Ohio State at Ohio State. Dana Knudsen putting down a lot of kills at the end of a match against Michigan State here when we got into trouble. And Dally serving great strings of points. Palmy, you know, Alexandra Palmer, you know, dishing the rock, doing her thing. I mean, there's a lot of people that contribute. And so, to me, you know, obviously you can say, yeah, you know, Harms and Dixon, let's figure out those guys, but a lot of our success has come from the other people filling in the rest of the space, and, you know, those two kind of doing what they do.
Harms had a big leap forward statistically this year. What set the stage for her improvement?
Yeah, I'm not sure, because I only have seen her for this amount of time, so I don't have a lot of history with her. But, you know, we stress the idea of consistency and just better shot selection. You know, I feel like she's understanding, you know, perhaps for the first time, that there's lots of ways to kill the ball. You don't have to hammer it straight down, and you know, she's hitting with a lot of range. I also think she's cleaned up a lot of other phases of her game. You know, her serve has come a long way. Defensively, she's a force back there. She's getting her fair share of stuffs at the net. She's really become a complete player, so that's a nice advantage for us.
Big picture question. You came in maybe familiar with some of these players on paper, but not that familiar with many of them. Is this team where you figured it might be, or where you hoped it would be when you look back to the beginning?
Yeah, I had very limited expectations. Obviously, not having spent any time with these athletes, you know, I didn't really know what to expect. So it's hard for me to say, you know, where we are today is where I projected that we would be, but I did know from the beginning that we had a chance to be good, and I think we are a good volleyball team. So in that regard, I'm not too surprised about our current circumstance. I just think there are, for me, a lot of things yet to learn, and you know, I'm still figuring out. I'm probably learning as much, if not more, as our athletes right now.